This is our Primex Level View controller. If you have any additional questions about this controller, you can reach our technical support line at 1-800-746-6287. We will go through the functions of this controller and all the different things that it can perform. On the main menu or the home screen, we can see our cycles, our hours, our gallons per minute, and our amps for each pump. We will also have the level indicator of where our transducer range is, as well as an approximate range of feet with the transducer. If we click on our menu button, it'll bring us to the main screen where we'll have data logging, alarms, and setup. Data logging will log for 7 days. It'll do our cycles, our minutes, and our gallons, and it'll rewrite every 7 days. And we can filter through these by clicking these two buttons. Alarms, as we get alarms, this will indicate as blue when we have an active alarm. When we have an alarm history, we'll be able to click on the alarms to see what alarms have occurred over that period of time, and it'll make a full log. So you'll see that we had a low transducer and a pump dry run. We can also escape back out of this, back to the alarm screen. When we get into the setup screen will give us all of our programming features that we have access to. If we do our level first, you will see that we have a range that we can set our transducer for a low, lead, lag, and high water. These can simply be changed by clicking the button and clicking what we want to change these to. We will also have, for an off setting, we can turn off our second pump at certain points at 6 and 9 if we'd like, or we can adjust those as we see fit for our station. There's also a tank cleanout function. So the tank cleanout function will come as disabled. This will need to be enabled by clicking this button. We can do this based on cycles by clicking this button, and then we can run a certain amount of cycles before we run a cleanout function at our station. It also will have a runtime past, so that it'll need to be changed at startup or developed at startup for how long your pump needs to run before it can be shut down. The clean out now function is available also on this screen, where it can be manually forced to clean out if you hold it for 3 seconds. We also have a timer based selection. The timer based selection is the same functionality, but will have a time in between that it can be selected and changed in this menu. It also has the same clean out now function if we want to hold now for 3 seconds. If we go to our VFD will come enabled, and for most grinder stations you'll want to have these set for 60 Hertz on start and lag. The lag can be slowed down if you want to run for more energy efficiency later on different pumps. It also has a hold time at 60 Hertz for how long it needs to hold at 60 Hertz. Our sensor needs to be set for the sensor range. So if your transducer is set for 16.7 as its maximum range, that needs to be inserted in here. If it's 30 feet or 100 feet, etc. We also have an offset. The offset needs to be set at how far the transducer is off the well. So this can be set at 1/2 foot or 2 foot, but most typical stations we see are usually set at 1. This also has timers. So the timers have, for your high level, low level, lag 1, and your max run timer. These can all be adjusted the same as the others by clicking on this button and adjusting the time that you'd like for that to be desired to run. This station also does volumetric flow calculations. So it'll calculate for cylindrical or rectangular tanks. So if you have a cylindrical tank, you'll need to set the diameter range right here to give you how many feet across your well is. So we can change that to 6 and back to 5. And we also have the ability to do it with rectangular tanks. We just have to insert dimensions A and B. This will do volumetric flow calculations for the station to show you approximately how much flow is coming into your station. This is not for metering applications, but just for a range to give you for what we think your pumps might be doing. For your amps, this is where we will set our current transducers. So a current transducer will have a set range that needs to be inserted here. This one is set for 50. Your high current will need to be set for your pumps. So your pumps will be 8.0 on this particular station, which will help set up our jam detection setup. So our jam detection setup will come as disabled from the factory and will need to be enabled. We will need to insert our pump full load amps here, and then we also have our percent trip over, and we also have a rapid trip over. We also have a timer for how long it takes the jam to clear. We can change how many jam cycles that this station comes through, from 2 to 5, or from 1 to 99. We also have timers for when the station is running forward and how it's going to coast to a stop in between its reversing functions. This will need to be set up for both pumps 1 and pump 2. The system has a multitude of different applications that it can be run for. So we have a duplex or a triplex. We also currently have this set up for VFDs that can be disabled or enabled. This station can be set up to empty or fill stations. And then we also have the ability to do lead select for auto, pump 1, or pump 2. Your date and time will be on this screen, as well as resetting your ETMs or your cycle counters. Your pump information can be entered at this click of a button. You can insert your 480 volts, your 5 horsepower, and the FLA for your station. This is all manually controlled and can be set up for each station individually. The I/O status and programming outputs. If you have questions and you want to contact our factory, this will give you what inputs and outputs are active currently. This will help us identify whether we have good inputs or bad outputs, so we can be tested with the meter. We also have the ability to come in here to go to our programming outputs, click on this, and with 7 relay outputs, we can monitor any desired failure that we want to follow.